Hi, I'm Pastor Freda, pastor of Sema Memorial Lutheran Church and chaplain of Passive Inn Community. Today, I want to talk to you about being called. We hear in Scripture how Jesus was walking along and called his first disciples. And it's surprising at first who Jesus calls. Jesus calls Peter and Andrew and James and John fishermen. Now, who would think that Jesus would call fishermen to be his disciples? And Jesus shows up, and the men have just come in after being out fishing all night. And it wasn't a very successful fishing trip, I might add. And they're taking up their nets, closing up so they can go home and get some rest. And Jesus comes up and says, "Hey, push out again." And Peter pretty much says, "Push out again? We just got here. There aren't any fish. I'm tired. I want to go home." But Peter agrees, and they push out. And when they get out to the deeper water, Jesus says, "Throw your nets into the water." And when they did, they caught more fish pretty much than they could handle. They had to call the other boat to come and take some of the fish so that the boat didn't sink. They get back to shore, and Peter knows that Jesus is no ordinary person. And he realizes that, and he says, "Lord, don't come near me. I am a sinful man." And Jesus pretty much says, "Yeah, I know you're a sinful man, but I'm calling you to follow me, and I will teach you to fish for people." And when Jesus called these first disciples, they left and they followed. Something about Jesus touched them deep down in their souls and told them, this is what you should do. They left their families, their friends, their livelihoods, their security to follow this man that they had just met, not knowing what the future would hold. But they answered the call. You and I are called to do many different things. Some of us are called to be pastors or chaplains. Some of us are called to be musicians or artists or administrative assistants. There are so many things. Readers in worship, to lead an Aspire Wellness class. There are so many things that we are called to do. And it's important that we listen for that call and answer. It might be scary. God may lead us to places we never expected. But we know that when we follow God's call, God is going to be with us. God will equip us. Remember, God doesn't call the qualified. God qualifies the called. I'm going to say that again. God doesn't call the qualified. God qualifies the called. So even if we're a little scared and uncertain about whether we should answer God's call, take that leap of faith. Follow God's call and see the amazing places and experiences it leads you. Peace and blessings.